I've got a very exciting video today, something I've been wanting to do pretty much ever since I bought my Classic 900, and that is to restore the dashboard. We're actually here inside my house because it's 115 today, and I'd rather just do most of this job in the air conditioning since I can. But here it is. This is the dashboard, I should say, out of my 1988 Saab 900. Anyone that owns one of these cars knows how notoriously prone these are to just cracking, and mine is well, probably a bit worse than most. In this video, we're going to be fixing this. Now, there are two different ways that you can do this. I am choosing the easier way, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But first thing we got to do here is take our Dremel. We're going to pretty much, I guess, make all of these bigger, make them smoother so they open up a bit more. There's a lot of cracks. There's the more I look at it, the more cracks I see. So we're going to do that first. After that, once we open them up, we're going to be using this special high density body filler. This is ideal for plastics, things like dashboards, bumpers, etc. Bought this off of Amazon. It was about 45 bucks for this tub, so it better be good. I have a couple different brushes and things to help apply and mix this stuff, so we'll see how that works. I'll probably mix it on this old gasket cardboard because it'll work well. Once we apply all of that and it hardens, we're going to take some sandpaper to it. I have a few different grits of sandpaper. I have 80 grit, I have 220 grit, and then I went a little bit finer just in case we need it and got a little bit of 400 grit as well. So up until this point, this process is going to be the same no matter which way you do it. Here's where I'm going to kind of do it the easier way. So after that, I'm going to be spray painting it. The reason why is because I have a friend, shout out to Shane, I'll put his Instagram on the screen. He has a lot of cool Saabs. His family has a Saab shop out in North Carolina. But he actually just did this job and he kind of showed me how he did it. So again, big thanks to him. I'm kind of taking a lot of inspiration on this video from him. But he went ahead and did it the really fancy way, which is to pretty much apply leather or vinyl over top of it once you sand it down. Now, he said after a little while, the vinyl started to shrink or it started to come apart and he was just having issues with it from the sun. So given that I live in Phoenix and it's just about the hottest part in the country, I don't think vinyl is going to treat me very well. It's also a lot more work. So I think spray painting is going to be the best method here. Now, we're gonna obviously do that part outside, but I think without further ado, I've done plenty of explaining here. So let's go ahead, get into it. Been about another 10-15 minutes here. I blew through the first little piece of sandpaper. This next one is ready to be flipped around, I guess you could say, but starting to make some better progress. It's definitely hard to get like down in these cracks, so I'm just gonna save those for a second. But these big ones up here, that one I need to finish up. But this one looks really good, I think. This one, the crack kind of stops right there, so I don't have to go the whole way up. That I was able to get down there in that corner. This one's done. So I'm liking how this is turning out. It's just taken a while because you can see I've really only done that. And we've still got a couple big ones here. There's a bunch of small ones back over here. All of these. So back to work we go, I guess. I don't wanna take you home with me. Time update, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes and this is just about done. I need to get these down in here. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to get those, and I realize there's a little piece I missed right there, so I'm gonna get that real quick. Otherwise, this is all kind of dug out, made worse. Some of these were a lot worse than others, like you can see how deep that one is there. But I think next up, I'm gonna go ahead vacuum in here real quick. I tried to keep it all on the cardboard, but this is absolutely filthy too. So I'm gonna vacuum, figure out what to do with this, finish up this, and we'll probably be ready to start applying some of the body filler. So we're ready to start putting the body filler in. I went ahead and opened up the body filler inside, realized how bad it smelled. So here we are in the garage. It's 114 currently. So let's try and make this quick, but got the body filler right here. So let's start mixing it, put some hardener in there, get to it, you know. So we're gonna add a little bit of hardener now. In the videos I watched, that's probably about as much hardener as they added. Your message, no, I'm not here for your show, wasn't asking. But I've been quitting what you're taking. I've been sipping cause I'm making no regrets, I'm not assistant. Just gonna be what you were, I'm not missing you, yeah. I'm fucking down with all this shit you told me. Just to grab that I meant you, damn you hold me down. All my fortune's just been wasted or gone. Oh, you made me feel. You thought there's a cure. I went and let you be. If you didn't know already, now you know. I am not a body guy. I don't obviously do something like this for a living. This doesn't look great. Yeah, so this is very much raised on here. So it's going to take a while to do. Once again, I'm just going to get to it and I'll catch up with you guys once I'm done or make some substantial progress. Another 45 minutes or so have passed. As far as 80 grit goes, a lot of this right here is mostly done. This needs a bit more work. I've really been focusing a lot of my time and energy on these smaller patches that the actual sander can't get. So this needs a bit more work. This is almost there. This is almost there. Been working on like these. I'm going to be doing this next. This is going to be a pain. Almost done with this little piece here. This corner's been a little bit hard. This is just really time consuming, guys. So I'm going to get back to it. Another hour has passed, and guys, this is just so tedious, time consuming. My back hurts from this. Honestly, if I knew this was this much work, I probably wouldn't have done it. But like this is pretty much done. This is pretty much done. All this over here is pretty much done. This is pretty much done down here and done with the 80 grit sandpaper. I still have to go over it with something a little bit finer. This I've gone over with the actual sander. This hasn't been working too well, so about 95% of what I've done has just been by hand, which has been miserable. But this still needs a lot of work. That back there needs a lot of work. I just finished up this. This needs a lot of work here still. There are a couple spots where, I mean, obviously this is going to look a bit better, but there are a couple spots like right here, which honestly I'm probably just going to leave. This ended up, I thought it was going to need more, but just because of how much ended up being on here that I had to sand off, it actually turned out really well. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty damn good. So I'm just going to keep getting at it. I'm going to have to run up to the store and get more 80 grit sandpaper though. So yeah, catch up with you guys when I'm done sanding.
One eternity later.
Put in perspective how long I've worked on this. It's now dark out. So I'm just about done with all the 80 grit sandpaper. So next is going to be, I think the 220 grit is what I have next. Just to kind of make it a little bit smoother before I apply the paint. Initial plan for this was to complete it all today. Obviously, given how long this has taken, it's now past 9 o'clock at night. Obviously, the sun is well down. I want to paint this out in the sun in the morning, so I think that's what we're going to do. It's all cleaned, it's all ready to paint. So I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. We'll get this thing painted. We're just going to be using some just generic flat black spray paint. I've used this on a ton of stuff before. Works pretty well. So yeah, catch up with you guys in the morning.
The next morning.
I've also got the speaker covers there so I can paint those to ensure they match. I removed the speakers from behind them so I won't paint those on accident, but let's get started. Time for a reality check here. This looks absolutely terrible. I'm really not happy with how this has turned out. The paint's still drying, so that's why you see all those streaks, but here's the thing. I have two options here, and I've got a freaking spider crawling all over it too on the wet freaking paint, so that's very kind of him to do that. But two options here. Either just leave it as is, probably put one more coat of paint on once this one dries, and just put the dash mat back on top. Option two, actually I have three options. Option two is to get the vinyl and the glue and try that way. Not very confident in my abilities to do that. Option three, sand it all down again, put more body filler in, and try and do a better job sanding it. I don't also trust my abilities to do that, and given how much time all these are gonna take, I just don't think it's worth it. I have so much stuff I need to do for this swap, and these little side jobs like this. I mean, this has taken me over half a weekend now to do, so I think we're just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna wait for this paint to dry a little bit more, get this stupid spider to stop crawling on my wet paint. That would be really great. I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Just really defeated right now because this does not look as good as I was hoping. This is probably one of those cases where it's best to just leave it to the professionals. I'm sure if I had taken this to a body shop or something and had them restore it, it would have looked good as new, but this just goes to show that experience really counts. My first time ever doing something like this, and doesn't look great. Honestly, as it starts to dry more and more, it looks a little bit better, but it's, I mean, even from here you can see it's not perfect. I appreciate all the criticism and the helpful tips in advance, but just know that I'm not going to be touching this thing again. So if you want to provide insight for other people who might be trying to do this job, go ahead, but this thing's going to stay as is. I'm just kind of over it. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.